go to a video from Charles, and we're going to put it on 1.5 speed. And I want you guys to listen to this. I'm not a financial advisor. What you're about to see is a man who is on Twitter said he's done with me because I made a thumbnail about saying Ada is dead, while assuming that I was saying the same thing that everybody else was saying. But I wasn't. I was actually saying the same thing that he was saying in his Hydra video. So what we're going to do is, Charles, if my rap wasn't enough for you, if my rap was not enough for you, that's okay. Because what we're going to do now is we are going to listen to you complain about TradFi VCs, which is exactly what I said was the problem. All right, listen to Charles here. We're going to put it on 1.5 speed so we can get through this kind of quick. Charles, these are your own words. You just said this last night.
Normal methods bearing open source projects in the world. And it's a marvel of computer science. And a lot of amazing things have been learned and derived. But then you go to Twitter and you go to Reddit, you go to YouTube, you go to all these carnival barking podcasters. And what they say is it's a dead project, no one's using it, that it can't scale, nothing has been delivered, all the projects are secretly canceled, nothing is being done. It's like living in two parallel realities. It's like you're building this beautiful city, you're making all this progress, and then you have somebody saying the city doesn't exist. Not that it's not going to be a good city to live in, or maybe it's not their city, or maybe the city's too far from the coast, or whatever have you. No, they physically say the city does not exist. It's all a lie. I'm not exactly sure the origins of this.
Okay, so really what Charles is saying here is, you got these carnival barker podcasters. Charles is younger than me by a good bit. I don't know if y'all know that. Yeah, Charles is good bit. Charles is not much older than Cassie. People think Cassie's 19 or something. I'm not going to say her real age, but she's a fully grown adult person. Charles Hoskinson is just a little bit older than her, I think. All right, so what he's saying here, though, is that all of us are out here just saying this stuff is not true. Charles, the one thing I said that lines up with what you just communicated there, I didn't say any of this other stuff. I didn't say projects are disappearing. I didn't spread FUD. I have said I'm worried about the growth of the ecosystem users-wise. And Charles, you can push back on that, and you can give me some numbers. And I can tell you, we could debate this, and you could give me some numbers on Cardano and usage and transactions. If I go out into a crypto conference, not a Cardano conference, if I go to a crypto conference, if I go to the Bitcoin conference, and I go around and I say, hey, name me one killer decentralized application on Ethereum, most people are going to be able to do it. If I said, name me one on Solana, people are a little more into it. They're going to be able to figure it out. Only people investing in Cardano that have been obsessed with the ecosystem are going to tell you anything on Cardano. Guys, MinSwap, nobody outside the Cardano ecosystem knows what that is. Okay? What is the other one? The Liquid, L-I-K-W-I-D? Nobody knows what that is outside the Cardano community. Okay? I know these things are. I know because I've seen them, and we had somebody on the other day who showed me some of them. Until the outside of your community knows your killer dApp, you don't have one. Okay? You don't have one. That's real. That's reality. I'm not saying I don't think they have great dApps. I'm not saying they don't have the killer dApp that's there now. I'm saying nobody outside the community can name one. Okay? That is a fair criticism 7 years into Cardano's development. That's a fair question, guys. It's fair. I think Charles, I have to admit that's a fair question. I didn't say I don't think it's definitely going to die. That's not what I said. But I want you guys to listen to this clip here, because this clip is really important. And this, to me, really kind of shows what I've been saying here. And Charles, I can't tell if Charles is maybe not smart enough to see this, or if maybe this is his way of complaining about it. Charles, this is obvious what's going on, and I've been telling people this is exactly what I was talking about in my video. Exactly. Here we go.
To astroturfing adoption. Sure, we could take half the market cap of Cardano and take $10 billion and mint it in ADA or something and put it into TVL, and then we'd have one of the highest TVL ecosystem. There you go. It's not really a reflection of organic growth now, is it? Meanwhile, Cardano's had enormous organic growth, and not only is it ignored, in many cases they leave it off of the indices. That's where it gets really confusing to me, where you actually have positive numbers. You go to the indexes that track these things and you say, why is Cardano not listed? Well, we don't list Cardano. Well, why? You just saw Gemini today. They say, tell us your favorite cryptocurrency, not you ADA people. Okay, so why ask the question then? Why are we excluded from even participating? Polls come out and they leave all the Cardano projects off. You're not even allowed to vote on them. It's not whether we win or lose, or it's a good poll or a bad poll, a fair election, not a fair election. You're not even allowed to vote in many cases for these things. We're left off the list. So there's something there, and maybe it's fear. Because what I just showed you is
So I think that was everything. Okay, I want you to hear me on this. Charles, I want you to think about what Charles did when he retweeted this video. Let's show you the tweet real quick so you guys see it. Let's go and look at what he said. I have zero disrespect to Charles in this entire video, by the way. I want you guys to understand that. I have zero disrespect for him. I love Charles, and I don't care what he says about me. I will never say anything bad about him. Well, that's not true. If he started saying bad stuff, maybe I would. But anyways, I digress. The point is, okay. Oh, look at this graphic. Look at that. Top YouTubers. Amazing. Okay, so here it is. So this is what Charles said. Well, Ben Armstrong X was always friendly to me in person. Sorry to see him go down this road. Wish him well and hope for the best. Hope for the best. So he retweets me and effectively dog whistles to the Cardano community that even he's done with me. He knows they hate me. He said, now I'm done with him because he made this thumbnail. He made this thumbnail that says Ada's dead. Charles, you knew what you were doing effectively when you said that. And it was very irresponsible of you, Charles, to do this without watching the video or giving any interpretation of the content that was actually put out, instead of being like a mindless drone, like a random person on YouTube that's new to crypto and who might invest off of a thumbnail or a title. That's low IQ. Nobody does that. Okay, nobody with a brain does that. And so I think that Charles, and you see in this Hydra video, is very frustrated. He's very frustrated for a lot of reasons. I share those frustrations with him about the things he's frustrated with. I just know why they're happening, and he doesn't seem to know or doesn't acknowledge it. But the point is it was irresponsible for him to say this, especially when we have the same message. Now, here's the message. The message is and you see it reflected in my rap song. The Cardano community is the problem. You Cardano community, not Ada Gang. Cardano community, you're the problem. It's not what you think. It's not because you're bad or you're too good at your job. You are too good at your job. Y'all have taken up all the coins. And I got this pushback from people saying, well, Cardano tokens are liquid and they're sticking, so somebody can pull them out at any time if they want to sell them. Yeah, the point is, even in the bear market only dropped from 70 to 60%. Y'all ain't selling your tokens. TradFi wants to come in and get a hold of those, right? Look at this Solana collapse. Shh. How much Solana do these people buy up at the bottom? Think about it, okay? I'm not saying Cardano is going to have a massive crash like that, but I'm saying that there will be barriers placed in front of Cardano, in front of the ADA price, until the bank holders surrender to TradFi. Look around at all the other projects that are booming. Look at the investors behind them. What do you do? Now, Charles here talks about these indices. He says, I don't get it. I don't understand why these indices that are ran by TradFi and Gemini won't even list removing those. Who do you think Gemini is? That's TradFi, guys. Charles sees what's happening, but he's not connecting the dots. TradFi is putting barriers and obstacles in front of Cardano constantly. And I'm one of the biggest champions of Cardano. And it was so funny he said this. He didn't watch the video at all. He's voicing the same concerns I am. He's just not seeing what the root cause of it is. The root cause of it is the fact the Cardano community is too good at their job, and they won't give up their bags, and they take punishment, and they hodl, and it never had a gigantic price collapse compared to some of the other coins during this bear market. Some of the ones that were able to get scooped up, like Solana. Okay, now the price went down, of course, like everything else did. XRP, they suppressed it. It's being suppressed. It's different. XRP is being suppressed for a certain moment when it's going to explode. Cardano is being pushed down and will not outperform the market, I no longer believe. No longer believe it will outperform the market because of what Charles is telling you. Charles is telling you the same thing I am. He's just saying it different. Why is Cardano, when it's proven everything, why are they ignoring it? They're not ignoring it because they don't see it, Charles. They're ignoring it because they see it. And that's why they're ignoring it. Now, the last stand in crypto, I continue to speak this message. Oh my God. Now, if Charles really wants to know what it's like to be attacked and something to complain about, just go through the comments on this, on your post, and look at what people say about me. Look at what your community says about me, Charles. You know the kind of person I am. You know what I care about. You know what I do. You know I'm not who they say I am, so I continue to talk to me. And that's why I'm kind of upset about this. But anyways, guy says he sold Solana and put it in Deged with a liquid DeFi. I think that might be okay. That might be an okay thing. Might be an okay thing to do. Look, I bought some Cardano last night, or 2 days ago. I bought some Cardano, bought some ADA. Okay, I'm with it. I'm just telling you what's going on. So let's real quickly. Let's go back to this video. We're gonna go to spot 705. Let's go to 705 in this video, and let's see what he has to say here. 705. Let's listen again. Listen carefully.
It's not about progress. It's not about utility. It's not about actually building something that's going to be here for 10 years or 20 years, 50 years, 100 years. It is about short-term value appreciation so that people can dump on retail and run away. Otherwise, why wouldn't they care about the things we care about? Why wouldn't they care about decentralization? Why wouldn't they care about semantical correctness? Why wouldn't they care about building a decentralized brain through the peer review process so that you always have innovation coming down the pipe? Why wouldn't they care about effective governance of the project that's inclusive and it brings people together and gives everybody a say? Why wouldn't they care about things like transaction determinism, the ability to validate things locally that are true globally, or how the system is going to interact with all the other blockchain systems and legacy systems? Why wouldn't they care about self-sovereign identity, integrate these things together, and use it for regulated value transfer and selective disclosure and other such things, which is required for the legacy world and real world assets? Why would they care about these things? They say they care, but then when people actually go and do them and make meaningful and significant progress on them, seldom does that even get mentioned, and instead its number go up. Because that's the game they play. They say there's a bull market, everybody's getting a little nervous and shaky because they know that these things come every 3 to 4 years as a direct consequence of the halving. And they see the path to $150,000, $200,000 Bitcoin. They see the path to it. They say, okay, and they do some number crunching, and there's rising tides with everybody else. They say, I got to get launched by that time period. I got to get out there by that time period so I can get the big surge and get an EOS style dump. Make a boatload of money. That's what they want.
And guys, once again, look, what Charles says here is that he does not seem to appreciate people who invest into the dream of ADA, the dream of the Cardano blockchain, and don't hold and don't sell through it, and don't hold until whenever. He wants you to buy into the dream of Cardano, which is fine. You may have a percentage of your bag or maybe all your bag. That is what you want. Long-term hold, no profits, take gains in 20 years. But I know that's not most of you guys. That's not most of people investing in Cardano. That's why most of people investing in ADA right now are frustrated. They've been frustrated. They were frustrated. They got pretty good gains last time. So they felt good about that, a 60x from 5 cents. And so during this one, we'll see when it goes and when it outperforms. But I tend to think at this point, I think that he's telling you, TradFi, Gemini, they're putting barriers in front of ADA. VCs, and Charles likes to talk about VCs like they didn't have a gigantic VC company invest into them, Emergo, IOHK. It's a Hong Kong company. I don't even want to get into all that. It's not underhanded or anything. It's just investment stuff. But it flies kind of in the face of, you know, we're pure community. It's not pure community. There are some VCs in there. They'll fund the project and get it going. And I think it wasn't just him coming over from Ethereum, okay? And I think at the end of the day, the Cardano community, like I said, is going to have to give those bags up at some point. TradFi's going to have to come in and sweep it up, or else you're looking at not having massive gains until the next bull run. And if you're comfortable with that with Cardano, Charles loves that. If you're not comfortable with that, Charles is making it sound like it's a negative thing if you believe Solana is going to outperform Cardano or ADA drastically over this bull run. It's a bad thing for you to take advantage of that because it takes away from the long-term dream of Cardano. Guys, you can go make a bunch more money in Solana, and then you can convert it all over to ADA in the bear market. But see, that's not good for Charles because that makes price go down in the shorter term. He doesn't want that. Why? He says, baby, you don't want the project to go down. You don't want the price to go down. Get it. Everybody gets it. That's why he's out here doing what he's doing. That's why he's out here. It's fun. Charles, you're just fighting the wrong guy. That's it. You're just fighting the wrong guy, Charles. You're fighting the good fight. You're fighting the wrong guy. I'm on your side. Once again, we're on the same team. So we'll fight you in Karate Combat if you want to do it, though. That would be kind of cool. I would do that. I would fight Charles for sure. I would come into the ring dressed as, if not the Sultan of Solana, I would come into the ring dressed as Crypto Euclid from back in the day.
Yes.
That's the first. Did I ever tell you about the first time that I met Charles Hoskinson? So the first time I met Charles Hoskinson, there's a guy on crypto Twitter, or was on crypto Twitter. His name is Crypto Euclid. And this guy and Charles Hoskinson they are dead freaking ringers for each other. I obviously know the difference between the two of them because I knew Euclid decently well. Watched the penultimate episode of Game of Thrones with him. Naomi Brockwell, some other people. DJ was there.
You guys did that in New York, didn't you?
Yeah, in New York, yeah. And anyways, so the point is, I'm at this conference and I'm sitting there, and here comes Charles Hoskinson walking. I swear to you, he was walking just like this. I'm not making Charles. I want Charles to know when I put your little garden shirt out there, I'm not making fun of you. Okay, it's reality. Is what it is. All right, here's the way he was walking. He was scurrying about. He had a place to go. And I saw him. And he didn't know who I was. I had like 3,000 followers at that time. I said, "Oh my God, everybody! It's Crypto Euclid right there." I said that. And I swear to you, he walked right by. It's Charles Hoskinson. That's a true story. That's true. It's so funny. I love that story.
Do you remember when we were down in, I think it was Miami for Bitcoin 2019,
Yeah.
and we were at the airport, and some lady ran up to you.
She thought I was Charles
She thought
Hoskinson.
you were Charles Hoskinson.
I told her at the end. This is one of my favorite stories. At the end, I told her, "Thank you for supporting my project in the Cardano blockchain, ma'am." As I told her at the end. There's more of this video I could have shown. I think I've spoken very clearly to Charles. I'm on your side. I'm not going to attack you. We're friends. Come on channel for an interview. Let's talk about these issues. We're on the same side with this stuff. Okay?